Hi, Reggie here speaking about Healing America's Narratives. Again, the full title of the book is Healing America's Narratives, the Feminine, the Masculine, and Our Collective National Shadow. And what we've done over the previous 10 or 12 episodes is take a slightly more in-depth look at each of the traits of our collective national shadow. Just name them briefly again: ignorance, arrogance, fear, bigotry, violence, greed, excess, bullying, and untrustworthiness. So we're about 130 some odd shorts into this conversation about the book. And what I'd like to do now is step back and take even a bigger picture perspective and consider some of the, we could call them meta or macro issues that we face. If you buy into what I've written about, and you agree at some level that at least half of what I've written about is true. I believe it's all true if you go and look at the evidence. Resolving these issues is really complex. And so I'd like to speak about three specific areas, big picture areas, that I believe are important. One is development. Throughout the book, we've spoken about, I used a shorthand for development, which is a me-centric view. That's the earliest level of development, the least inclusive. An us-centric view. That's somewhat more inclusive. An all-of-us-centric view, which is a human-centric view, more inclusive. And finally, an all-that-is-centric view. In other words, I have a view that everything is important, the planet itself, other than human beings, etc. So what we'll be willing to do will be determined by our view. If I'm only concerned about myself, I'm not going to really resolve on any big scale anything from climate change to an opioid epidemic to violence, as long as I can keep myself healthy and safe, right? If it's about us, depending on which us this is, I might work on some other problems. But only when we get to all of us, when we see that all human beings are impacted by these issues, do we begin to really be concerned with navigating these issues on a macro scale. And ideally, we should be in an all that is perspective, because then we aren't just concerned with humans, but we're concerned with the planet itself and everything beyond and on it. So that's one. Development is important. Secondly, to speak about our short-term problem-solving skills. If you look at the history of the United States, and probably in most cases the history of the world, when problems arose, the problem solvers very often, if not always, took a narrow view, solved the problem. In solving it, exacerbated other problems and created new problems. We need to stop doing that. Right? And then finally, and this is tied into, resolving how we resolve problems. Many, if not all, of our major concerns are interrelated. Everything from the economy to the climate to inequality of wealth to violence, to a lack of health and caring, the healthcare system in America. There are relationships among all of them, some not obvious, some not so obvious. And until we're able to really see those relationships and behave in ways that don't privilege any one over the other in any long-term sense, we're going to just continue to make things worse. So probably the best voice I've come across in really addressing these macro issues, and it's somebody that I consider a teacher, but I don't know him personally. I listen to what he has to say and I read what he has written, is a gentleman by the name of Daniel Schmachtenberger. And I'm going to speak more about what he has to say in coming episodes. I recommend that you just go out there and if you just search for his name, and it's spelled exactly the way it sounds, Schma. I'm going to stop there. Ctenberger. I'm pretty sure I got that right. I'm not looking at it. You can find him at the Consilience Project. You can find him in many YouTube interviews, and I think he's a really important voice to listen to. So again, we're Speaking about healing America's narratives, I'd like you to, if you can, continue to tune into these YouTube videos. You can find out more about the book at the book site, which is healingamericasnarratives.com. You're on this playlist right now for the YouTube videos. You can buy the book on Amazon. Barnes & Noble, ask your local bookseller to purchase you a copy, and you can read some of my essays on Medium. Just search my name or Healing America's Narratives on Medium. So thank you again for tuning in, as always, and I look forward to seeing you the next time.